Well, here's the reason we're all here. Bob Pollitt, as I had said before, had told us that one of his bucket list items was to drive his TR6 up Pikes Peak. And Cathy Pollitt is the sole source for determining what we had to do to be able to drive up Pikes Peak, because you can't just show up and expect to drive up the top, and we'll go into those details here in a minute. But we had a great time, great group of people in Tri-State Triumphs. Thanks to Julian Dodge and his son David for providing a lot of the pictures. In fact, this is one of David's pictures right here of Bob and Cathy waiting to go up to the summit. We had to wait for the ice to melt at the very top, so he was a little antsy. So anyway, on with the video. As I start this video, I think we're going to have more than 6 total, because Pikes Peak deserves to be its own video by itself. Cathy called the Park Service to see if there's anything special we need to be able to drive up to the summit of Pikes Peak. And sure enough, you need to get what they called a timed entry permit ticket. I'm not going to try to walk you through the exact procedure on how to get a timed entry pass, but I will say that if you go to either recreation.gov or the pikespeak.com website, there's information there on how you obtain one of these timed entry passes. Here we are getting on State Route 24. We're going to be heading north towards Pikes Peak. Straight ahead, the snow-capped peak is Pikes Peak. This freeway section is just stunning. It was all just boulders and you're up and down. It's a very narrow road, so it was just a pretty drive. And do you believe this weather? I mean, it was just awesome. So anyway, here we go. Well, after about 10 minutes, here we're getting ready to turn onto Fountain Avenue, which leads to Pikes Peak Highway, and basically the gate to get into the park. We're trying to keep together here, so you can see up ahead several of the guys have pulled over, and there's a couple more behind me. So there's farther on up here, there's a turn-off kind of a thing where we all stopped and waited for everybody to get together, so we really want to drive up as a group, so we can park at the summit all together for, photo ops and whatnot. So yeah, so we're pulling up to the gate where we show the ranger our timed entry pass, and we pay for our admission to go up the road. It's $15 a person in the car. So anyway, we're about ready to get, as I said, go through here, and then we're going to all group together. First turnoff we see. was arguing with me. I said it's only 15 for the cars. She goes, I don't think so.
Hey, they're always ready.
I know. You think after 50 years I would know better? So cute.
You are all set.
Thank you. Bill was the first one we ran into waiting to group up with everybody. So we told them there was 2 more behind us. So we're going to keep going ahead and find a wide spot where everybody can meet up to get together to go up in one group. Just up the road here, you'll see one of the many cyclists we saw going up the road here to the summit of Pikes Peak. So there was quite a few bucket lists being checked off today, it looks like. So the first guys through the gate at the bottom have found a place to pull over so we can all go up together from here. This is right at 8,500 feet. I have a GPS app on my phone that also shows altitude. So anyway, there's 3 or 4 of us here now, and Bill was right behind me, and then there was 2 more that were coming up behind him. So we just kind of did some photo ops here and waited for, like I said, for everybody to show up, and then we were going to push on to the summit. Well, we're steadily climbing here, and right about the tree line, as you can see, it was about, I'm thinking it was about 10,000 feet here, but it was just brilliantly clear, and just a beautiful day for the drive. And there you can see another glimpse of Pikes Peak. So coming up on the left here is the Glen Cove Inn. This is at 11,440 feet, I think. And also there's a little booth in the middle of the road here, and this is when you're coming down, this is where they do a brake check, where they got a guy with a infrared thermometer that checks your front brakes to see how hot they are. So anyway, we're at 11,400 and so we're definitely above the tree line now, and it's just a brilliantly clear day. I just can't say it enough. It was just wonderful. And now we're approaching one of the many hairpin turns that we had to go up to get to the summit, and that's Greg Donegan in front of me with in his S2000, and yeah, it was just a great time. So the speed limit going up, we should talk about that. The speed limit is 25 miles an hour, and I don't know that you could go much faster, actually. I mean, I was in second gear most of the way. I don't know what the grade is in percentage, but it's pretty significant. So you can see there's a lot of snow on the ground up here, and not so much where I am right there, but and there's one of the very few guardrails, by the way, too. So Colleen was appreciative of that. So anyway, it was we'll just keep pushing on here. Well, more hairpins, more snow. I just really had a great time doing this. We both did, and well, I think the whole group did. But yeah, the cars ran great, no problems, and well, we weren't really like pushing them real hard. But going this slow at a higher RPM. I think I was doing like 3,000 RPM, but I was going 25 miles an hour. So. But I do have an electric cooling fan, so that helps significantly. But you can see the snowpack on the right there. It was, pretty substantial from what I'm used to. But yeah, we're coming up to another hairpin here, and we're getting close to the point where it's the demarcation of where you have to stop if you don't have a timed entry pass. And we'll see that here in just a minute.
Up here on the side of the road today. Mike, let's tighten it up so we can get a good shot. Bring the car up.
Can I pull up anymore?
Yeah, a little bit.
I think I'll just leave it here, maybe.
You're good. You're off the road. Well,
Yeah, okay.
I'd bring it up a little bit, Dave, because you're for anybody that's coming past, you're a little bit close to the road.
Wait a minute,
Kathy's going to get it
One more.
across the way.
One more.
I gotta hold in my gut. Hang on.
The reason we had to stop here was because the rangers said there was still a lot of ice on the roads up at the summit, and they were just waiting for the sun to melt a lot of it so nobody went slipping and sliding, which we were cool with. So anyway, we got a picture of with our club banner, and we'll do another one when we get to the summit. Well, none of us would be on this awesome trip if it wasn't for these two. I don't, as a group, I have to speak for everybody and say thank you for allowing us to come on this adventure with you. It's a real honor to see you check this off your bucket list. I wanted to add a couple more of David Dodge's photographs that he took on the trip. This is Dad Julian standing next to the Pollitt's TR6. And then the second one is their TR6. I'd also like to thank Julian for organizing the Spirited Drives, which is after one of those is when we found out that Bob wanted to go up Pikes Peak. So thanks, Julian.
That's just crazy. You guys first. Okay, Rick, you're first. We're gonna let Rick go first. Whatever it takes. Yep, you get all you lined up first, and then we'll bring everything. You guys get the privilege today going up first.
Thank you.
Yep, we really appreciate it. Yep, you got it.
And here's the proof right off of my phone, 14,082 feet. So yeah, it took a little over 2 hours to from the time we left the hotel. So that's not bad. So yeah, it was a great trip up here, and nobody had any problems or anything. We did have to wait at the 12,000 foot level to wait for the ice to melt up at the summit. But that, I guess that's probably just because we were the first ones up the mountain. So yeah, we stopped at the visitor center and had a world famous Pikes Peak donut and hot chocolate, and got here just before the Congaree Airway showed up and dumped off 100 people or so. So, but yeah, we took some great pictures. I'll show you here in a minute, and then we just headed back down. Well, we had to take a shot at the summit. So Bob Pollitt's holding up our banner there, and I think that's Julian holding up the left side, and I'm not sure. I think that might be me holding up the right side, I guess. But anyway, here's the cars from left to right. Julian and David Dodge in their 76 Carmine TR6. Mr. Rick Reitman in a 75 Saffron TR6. Mike and Kathy Clark in their 75 Emerald Green TR6. And then Mr. Bill Bowser in his Lotus Elise. And then Colleen and I in our 67 TR4A-IRS Royal Blue. And then the Pollitts, the leaders of the pack. And then finally Greg and Lynn Donegan, who drove their S2000. Unfortunately, their 72 Saffron TR6, which is a beautiful car, decided it didn't want to make the trip. So that's the cars. And here we are at the summit too. Well, we had to take a picture once we got down off the summit too. So this is a parking lot of some kind of I'm not sure, gift center or something. And we put our sign on the hood of Mike's car, and he's insisting there was nothing mechanically wrong with the car. It was merely a prop. And that's our story, and we're sticking to it. Well, here's one final shot of all of us in the same parking lot. You can see it's a pretty good backdrop there of the mountain behind us. And I just want to say thanks for watching my videos on this trip. There's a lot more to come, and bear with me. It takes a long time for me to figure out how to do these things. There's so much video to go through, and trying to keep them small enough to where people aren't going to lose interest is a real challenge. But anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. That's it for now. Please like and subscribe.